think, feel, live. The way you think determines how you feel determines how you live. The reason why is because feelings are like waves in the ocean. And sometimes you're going to feel like putting a hole in the wall. You're going to feel angry. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel like calling your ex 15 times. And we all know that is not going to help us live the life that we want. So, Lawrence, all of this stuff you're saying about change what you're around, change your habits, change your behavior, all of that is great. But what do I do when I feel like punching a hole in the wall? What do I do when I feel like yelling at somebody? What do I do when someone says something or does something and I feel like fighting them? I know, I think, I am aware that fighting people, not the smartest idea. Punching holes in the walls, not the best idea. These things that I feel like doing aren't good for me to do. But what do I do instead? That's what we're going to get into. So, first of all, let me flip my whiteboard. Emotions are like waves in the ocean. So let's bear with my art skills. I'm a speaker, not an artist. So, here is your emotions. This is the ocean, and this is a wave. You see how the wave isn't the entire thing? This is a cloud, and that's the sky. You see how the wave isn't the entire ocean, and the cloud isn't the entire sky? The point is this. When you feel really strong emotions, or you feel like doing something that you know isn't the smartest idea for you to do, I just wanted to make sure my mic was on. You have to step back and just say, this is a thought, not a truth. This is a feeling, not a fact. This is a thought. It is a cloud in the sky. It is not a truth. It is not the entire sky. This is a feeling. It is a wave in the ocean, not a fact. The wave is not the entire ocean. The cloud is not the entire sky. And sometimes it's going to feel as if life is storming on you. It's going to feel like you're drowning in the ocean. And usually people will run from that feeling. They will avoid it. They'll say, this is wrong. I shouldn't feel this way. This is bad. I hate this. And it's okay to feel that. But emotions are, let's write this out for you. Emotion is energy in motion. Your emotions are simply energy in motion. And it's up to you to figure out, where am I going to direct that energy? So, building off of our question earlier, what do you actually do when you feel mad, or you feel sad, or you're stressed out, or someone gets on your nerves and they say something disrespectful, and you know, like you think, you use your mind and you go, I know that I shouldn't fight this person because it could end very badly, but right now in this moment, I just really feel like doing that. I feel overwhelmingly mad. I feel overwhelmingly sad. Like, I don't want to sit and just talk about it. I want to do something about it. So, what you do is you understand, okay, this feeling, whatever it is, good, bad, happy, sad, whatever, it's simply energy in motion. So, where do we direct this? If you're feeling really angry, this could be you go to the gym, or you do push-ups. We'll just say gym/workout. That's what a lot of men, at least, I mean, a lot of women do it too, but it's usually men who do this. We'll take our anger and we'll go to the gym. For other people, it's making art/music. If you think about some of the best music ever, it's heartbreak music, it's anger music, it's sad music. Great examples, Taylor Swift, whether you like her music or not. Billie Eilish is another good example. You could think of someone like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. If you look at the best music, it's usually something that's very emotional. For some reason, I just thought about Roar by Katy Perry. You could think If I Was a Boy by Beyonce. You could think Waterfalls by TLC. Anything like that. A lot of people, they take their anger, their frustration, their sadness, and they put it into some kind of form of art, music, or creative pursuit. Another thing that you can do, Lawrence, these are things that require me to either go somewhere, have something such as, sit down with the microphone and the pen and write out lyrics. But what can I do if I can't just go somewhere and deal with it? What can I do if I don't have access to a gym? Or I'm not in a place where I can, drop and do some push-ups. Or I'm not in a place where I can paint or get the microphone. One of the things you can do is, how am I going to word this? I'll say, step back. Yeah, I'll describe it that way. So, bearing with my art skills, that cloud and that wave is in the moment when you feel those really strong emotions, when you feel like life is storming on you, when you feel like you're drowning in the ocean, and you can't go somewhere to go to the gym, or you can't put on some music because maybe you're in the middle of a test at school, or you can't call somebody or things like that. What you can do is you can tell yourself, whether in your own head or out loud, this is a wave in the ocean. It is not the entire ocean. This is a cloud in the sky. It is not the entire sky. This is a storm that is happening in this moment. It is not permanent. It is not forever. It will not last the rest of your life. And when I said that, I just thought about, well, Lawrence, what if I'm somebody who has like a medical condition that will last my entire life? Or I'm somebody who has like a neurological issue such as cerebral palsy, or I'm blind, or I'm deaf. What about people who have like things that actually will last forever? For these people, I would say that changing the way that we describe it in our own head. So, easier said than done, but I'm going to try my best to explain this point. So you may be blind. We'll use that as an example, right? You might be genuinely blind. And you just have to accept the fact that it is what it is. As cold and as distant and as easy for you to say, as in you saying to me, well, Lawrence, that's easy for you to say because you're not blind. As easy for me to say as it is, certain problems and certain challenges and things, we have to accept the fact that it genuinely just is what it is. And when we stop fighting the fact that it is what it is and we learn to accept it, we make it less painful in our own head. So, saying that, Lawrence, but I only have one leg, what am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to, understand that my life isn't going to be this way forever? Because it will be. I only have one leg. Well, we have to accept it is what it is. Hopefully the way I'm describing it doesn't come off as insensitive, but sometimes that's really the truth. A good example that I can think of for me personally is Father's Day just passed. And when I was 13, my dad kicked me out the house, and I have never spoken to him, in years and years and years. And I plan to never speak to him again in my life. And it is what it is. Like, the past is the past. That happened. However, once I stopped fighting against the fact that that happened, and I just accepted the fact it is what it is, now it don't suck as much. Because most of our problems, we make them way worse in our head than they are in reality. It's kind of like if this is a storm cloud, right? It's raining down. Tom, tom, tom. Lightning strikes. It's storming outside. It sucks. And let me draw this out for you. So, most of our problems, we make them a lot worse in our head, because if this right here, we'll say this is a storm cloud, right? And this is you. And it's storming on you. Tom, tom, tom. Raindrops. It's bad. It's really coming down. And you're sad about that because you're like, oh my gosh, it's storming. This sucked. It obviously does. But we have to remind ourselves that the storm will not last forever. It won't last forever. And the things in our life that will last forever, such as physical disabilities, like if someone's blind or they're deaf or they're missing a leg or they have cerebral palsy or they have a neurological condition or anything like that, we make peace with the fact that I don't have to make it worse in my head than it is in reality. So yes, it is storming outside. Yes, you might be blind. It is what it is. However, the more we tell ourselves that, it sucks, it's so bad, I'm blind, I can't see, I only have one leg, we make it so much worse in our head than it is in reality. So, in reality, it might be a level 5. Like, it might be, it sucks. But in our head, we make it a level 12. Like, it's so bad. But in truth, it is what it is. And we deal with it in a healthy way. So, bringing this all full circle, when you feel these overwhelming emotions, you feel like, man, I don't know what to do. This person said this thing and I really want to fight him. I want to do something. I want to hurt him. I want to punch a hole in the wall. I want to blow up my ex-girlfriend's phone and beg and plead and do all these things. And I just, like, you're just mentally all over the place. This thought is a cloud. It is not the entire sky. The way you feel is a wave in the ocean. It is not the entire ocean. Thoughts are thoughts. They are not the truth. Feelings are feelings. They are not a fact. It is a fact that you feel how you feel. But it is not a fact that the way you feel is the truth. You think what you think. That is a thought. However, just because you think something doesn't mean it is true. Just because you think I should do this doesn't mean you should. Just because you feel like doing something doesn't mean you should. And you have to be emotionally aware of where am I putting my energy. And you have to simply feel how you feel, stop, think, okay, I feel like fighting this person. Is that a good idea? I feel like punching a hole in the wall. Is that a good idea? I feel like throwing a video game controller across the room because I lost the game. Is that a good idea? And most of the time, the feeling will pass. You know, it's like a cloud in the sky. It blows away. It's a wave in the ocean. It goes up and then it goes down. And we fight against the cloud. We say, I shouldn't feel like this. And we scream at the sky. And in doing so, we make the storm last longer because it's like the cloud is passing over you and you're like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't feel this way. Whereas if you just said, okay, I feel a feeling, I think this thought, but this thought is not the truth. You see how it passes? Or when the wave of emotion comes up and we're like, man, I feel so sad and so angry and this person did this thing to me and I'll be happy when they do this and they change. You see how it drags you down and you start drowning with it? Whereas if instead you said, okay, this person said something really disrespectful. I'm really upset about it and I feel like fighting them. I feel like this, but I'm going to just take a deep breath, pause, and allow this feeling to fade so I don't do anything that I regret. You see how the wave passes, the cloud passes, the situation happens, and then it passes. The feeling is a feeling, not a fact. The thought is a thought, not the truth. And when you step back and you realize that, wait, I'm not my feeling. I'm not the wave. I'm the ocean. I'm not the cloud. I'm the sky. Then you're able to look at it on a bigger picture and see that just because I feel this thing right now doesn't mean that I'll feel it forever. Just because I think this right now doesn't mean it's the complete truth. A cloud is a small piece of the sky. A wave is a small piece of the ocean. And you are the entire sky. You are the entire ocean. The wave can be 10 feet tall, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be storms and tsunamis forever. It just means it is what it is in this moment. We feel how we feel in this moment. We think how we think in this moment. And when we take that emotion and that energy in motion and we direct it towards healthier things, such as you put that anger into the gym. You put that anger or that frustration, that sadness, that heartbreak, that, man, I feel like this, into some music. Or you just notice how you think and you allow it to pass. Or you journal, or you read a book, or you pray, or you meditate, whatever. You take that energy and you put it into something that is beneficial. Because, I can't remember which one it is, but there's a law that says energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred. So, that anger, you need to give it a healthy outlet. That sadness, you need to allow it to flow somewhere. You need to allow it to come in, process it, let it come out. Now, one thing that I'm going to also make sure that I mention before ending this video is, all right, Lawrence, so what about if I'm in a situation where someone keeps causing me to feel something, such as a home environment, you're in a toxic relationship, your friends are disrespectful. What do I do if this is me right here and I feel trapped, I feel surrounded by, let's say, toxic relationship, family, economy, so money situations, health, etc. Lawrence, what do I do if I'm constantly surrounded by these things that are causing me to feel really strong, upset, scary, sad, angry, mad type of emotion? What do I do? You pause, think, and decide. So, most people, we react. But what you need to learn to do is to respond. Now, a response is, so firstly, a reaction is, I feel a thing, I do a thing. I feel mad, I fight. I feel sad, I scream. I feel, I do. That's a reaction. So, I feel upset because maybe you're not making the amount of money you want. Or you feel sad because the person that you're dating is disrespecting you, or you feel angry because of school or whatever, right? You respond instead of react. Responding is something happens, I feel a thing, I think, I make a decision. So, you need to understand how you feel, why you feel that, and what is the goal that you want. So instead of getting into a fight and possibly getting expelled from school or getting knocked out or worse, our goal is to remove ourselves from the situation, such as just not being around that person, or avoiding that person, or putting some distance between you, such as, it could even be as severe as you might need to have legal restrictions like restraining orders. But that's pretty extreme. Hopefully no one's in that kind of situation. So, to recap everything, emotions are emotions. Feelings are not facts, they are feelings. Thoughts are not the truth, they are thoughts. There is a wave in the ocean, but you can step back and you can say, okay, I feel how I feel, but I don't have to let how I feel control what I do. I think what I think, but I do not have to allow what I think right now to be the complete truth. It is okay to feel how you feel. You do not need to shame or push away or try and repress your emotions. You have to feel them, but use them in a healthy way. So, to recap, when we change how we think, we improve how we feel, and when we learn how to feel how we feel and direct that energy and those emotions toward the life that we want, then we get to think different, feel different, live different. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching, links in the description, as well as my books. And if you're looking for a guest for your podcast or high school youth organization, things like that, you can also contact me using the link in the description or emailing me at lawrence@lawrencecharris.com. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Oh, almost forgot. If you're looking for me to have me make a custom video, so you send in your request, you let me know the topic, and if I think it's a good idea, I will make it. You can also do that using the link in the description. Have a good one.